Or hello, Miracle.
Hello? Hello, good
Yes.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, fine, great.
Yeah, we're just waiting for a few colleagues to join in.
All right, so
Um,
let's wait for them.
yes, hello, Miracle.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Please go ahead and introduce yourself and give us a perspective a little bit as into what this astronomy search is about, what opportunities are there,
Okay,
what sort of
I would
yes.
like to share my screen, so you have to enable it because it's telling me that host disabled screen sharing. Or should I just talk about it without using slides?
No, you can use slides. I've just made you the host so you can share
Okay,
your screen. Yes.
great. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see a screen.
Great. So, thanks for giving me this opportunity to introduce some of the research activities that are being carried out in our research group. My name is displayed on the screen. My name is Miro Kuchibuzo myself, and I'm one of the astronomy coordinators in Nigeria. I teach physics, but I also coordinate astronomy. Of course, I have a degree in physics and astronomy. And I'm so passionate about astronomy and physics that I chose to be a teacher and as well be going for outreaches to spread astronomy in Nigeria and Africa. So this enthusiasm prompted me to establish the Pan African Citizen Science e-lab. So what is this citizen science all about? Citizen science is a kind of a research that involves ordinary people. Normally for scientific research, it is usually experts that handle it. Do you understand? You have to be an expert in a particular area before you can conduct a research. But for citizen science, the general public can get involved in it. And I see it as a very big opportunity for Africans when it comes to popularizing astronomy in Africans. There are so many research that are being carried out in astronomy that ordinary people can participate and make contributions. So that is why I established it and called it Pan African Citizen Science E-Lab. And the reason for the E-Lab is because it is online, okay? We administer the programs online. So we send out trainings online, we host trainings online and discuss most of our programs online. So that is why we come about that. And if you look up, oh, sorry, you would see some of the activities that are being carried out in our group. Just a moment. So if you look up, this is covering my screen. Let me adjust it a little bit. Great. Just a moment. Let me adjust it. Discovering my screen. All right. This is the Pan African asteroid search. So in this program, we hunt for asteroids. We hunt for asteroids. You know, I will talk about it in the next few minutes because it is the bulk of the activities that we carry out in our group, and also about 70% of the programs that we promote. Then we have these Zooniverse citizen science campaigns. In this website, you can conduct research on galaxy classification and planet hunting. You know that scientists are very active in these fields, in galaxy exploration and planet hunting. It is going on right now. There are so many research, PhD research going on. So most of these researchers put up their research in the Zoo Universe website for ordinary people to contribute in the analysis of the data and actually making contributions. We have had our colleagues, our friends from all around the world that has discovered planets and supernova explosions and classified galaxies. And once you contribute in this research, your name will be included in the research paper as one of the contributors. So we share programs. There are so many of them. It's not only the galaxy classification and planet hunting. There are so many of them, but I just gave these two examples as, as an example, though. Then we have programs on image processing. Image processing, you must have seen um, you must have seen scientists, you must have maybe on Facebook or Instagram, you see people posting pictures of galaxies and planets and stars, and these things look so beautiful. They look so wonderful. And you'll be like, wow, this, these were done by professional scientists. But the truth is that those are ordinary people that did that. Many things in astronomy can be done by ordinary people. So we teach you how to produce very colorful images of nebulae and galaxies and planets. Indeed, those pictures were taken by telescopes in black and white only. So it is you that will colorize it. So we teach people on how to do that. Okay? Then we also have what we call web telescopes. Web telescopes are those kind of telescopes that you can operate at the comfort of your house or office or school.
Miracle, before you go ahead, uh, would like you to record this meeting because you are now the host.
Yes,
So for our colleagues who
I'm
haven't
recording it.
joined,
I'm recording it
okay,
exactly, and I will send you the
all right,
recording later. Yeah.
all right, thank you.
So although I have a third-party software that records things, I have a third-party software, so I will send the link out. So this telescope, your group won a telescope. Remember that? You can use it
Ye-
for your outreach, okay? You can go to schools, you can visit universities, you know, so that you can use it to inspire students. You can use it to see the planets in the solar system. You can use it to view the moon in a magnified scale. You can use it to view the craters on the moon. It inspires students to explore science. Do you understand? So that is for the kind of telescope that you want, okay? You can, it is mostly used for outreach and for fun. But the Webb telescope I'm talking about is for research. It's a very gigantic, very sophisticated telescope that is positioned at strategic points on Earth, at strategic points, even in mountain places where human beings don't live, except animals and dangerous creatures. We build very gigantic telescopes there because those positions on Earth could serve as perfect places to set up telescope to view beautiful places in the sky. So we operate these telescopes and we have observing time with the SLU Institute of Astrophysics and the Last Congress Observatory. So we are still developing the scheme so that our participants and even researchers among us can use it to carry out their research. Even if you have not, you don't have a research experience, we have expertise that can help you to conduct a good research. Then we share programs on space competition.
Yes.
Me now.
Yeah, now we can hear
Yes.
you.
All right.
So now
So sorry
I'll make
for.
you.
So can you remind me what I said last, so that I will.
You were talking about the telescopes, gigantic telescopes, which can be
Oh, okay.
located in different locations, like to search for animals which are located in dangerous locations, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I should just make you a host now.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. So we have observing times with these telescopes. The SLU Institute of Astrophysics and the Las Cumbres Observatory. We have observing times with them. Then we have. Oh, okay. I was actually talking about space competitions when you told me that you can't hear me, but let me continue to explain these Webb telescopes. You know, there's something we call light pollution. You know about light pollution? Um, Maybe smokes and dust from roads and industries, exhaust. When these particles ascend to the atmosphere, they cause light pollution. It makes you not to be able to view the night sky properly. So you might not be able to view the bulge of the Milky Way or to view the stars very clearly. So we call it light pollution. So in cities, you have light pollution, and you have if you have telescopes in the city areas, you won't be able to have a clear sky to conduct your research. That is why these Webb telescopes are important, because you can position even in mountainous mountainous places. You can position them in remote places where no human being can ever live, while you operate them from your office. For instance, from my office right here, I can operate these Webb telescopes. I can capture images of any object of my choice, in a very convenient way. It's a modern telescope, and we have we have observing time with the Institute of Astrophysics and the Los Cumbres Observatory. Then we have space competition. We share programs on all kinds of space competition ever. That's sorry. We share programs on all kinds of space competition. For instance, the International Astronomy and Astrophysics competition that just ended. The first round ended on 21st of April. So we support you with materials and guidance on how to get to the top. Then we have programs for those that are good in Python. Maybe you want to learn Python, the way we use Python in astronomy, because Python is the most used program in astronomy. We have programs that can help you to guide you through the process. So, and these are my contacts. So you already have them. You already have them. So we are looking for. We are moving, like, we are connecting teachers from different countries in Africa, because we want these programs to be spread in Africa. We want to make astronomy popular in Africa, and we are using these programs and even many more that we are still developing to propagate and promote astronomy in Africa. And that is why I connected with you, and I'm so grateful that your group is so passionate about space. So Um, so these are our different social media handle. Although you are following us on LinkedIn, in our WhatsApp group, and this is our other social media handles. We are on Twitter, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. You can follow us on those platforms to view our activities. So, so this is about the asteroid search. And I want to explain why we search for asteroids. So you can imagine after building a house, after building your house, there would be some materials left, isn't it? You will have some stones, some sand, and even some cement left after building your house. It is not possible to utilize all the materials to build a house. Do you understand? You can have leftovers. So in the same in the same vein, when the solar system was formed about 5 billion years ago, there were debris around the sun. So some of these debris coalesced to form planets as we know them today. But some of them did not could not coalesce into planets. They were left over in pieces forms. So they settled in this orbit. Look at the red line. Can you see my mouse? Please tell me if you can see my mouse.
Yes.
Okay. See my mouse there? They were left in this orbit, and in this orbit, look at this is the Kuiper belt. This is the asteroid belt. And those yellow lines and the white lines are the orbits of the planets. So in this Kuiper belt and the asteroid belt, you have these rocky-like looking structures. They range, they vary in sizes from several meters to kilometers. They are very big. So, but their orbit around the sun is quite stable. But due to the size of Jupiter right here, Jupiter is so massive, and the gravity of Jupiter is also so massive that, oh, it says the meeting will end in 10 minutes. All right,
No, you can proceed, of
all right.
course.
So the size of Jupiter is so massive that the gravity is so high, and it disrupts the this rocky object called the asteroids. So what you notice is that they change their path, they change their orbit, and their orbit crisscross the orbit of the inner planets. They can crisscross the orbit of Mars or the orbit of Earth or the orbit of Jupiter or Mercury. But the dangerous thing is when they crisscross the orbit of our planet, they can hit our planet, and it is capable of causing massive damage. Do you understand? And this is why we have this extinction of asteroids, sorry, of dinosaurs. You must have read it in the history book. Millions and hundreds of thousands of years ago, we had asteroids that roamed the earth, but they were destroyed. We don't have dinosaurs anymore because asteroids fell on earth and destroyed all of them. All of them. In fact, this activity has happened about 3 to 5 times since 4.5 billion years old the earth was formed. So you can imagine how dangerous it is. Also, these asteroids are a blessing because if this ancient asteroid happened to fall in your country, it comes with a lot of rare mineral resources, very rare mineral resources. Do you understand? That are very expensive. So we have recent impact of these asteroids that happened. We have the one that happened in 1908 in Russia. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Great. So this one happened in Russia in 1908. Look at the size of the crater. And when it happens like a nuclear bomb. It seems like a nuclear bomb has exploded. Look at this one. This one happened in 2013. You can see the simulation. It happened in 2013. Okay? So this happened in Russia. I was writing my university entrance examination that time, and this happened on February 15th. So even as of February of this year, it was just 10 years it happened. 10 years, exactly 10 years it happened. And this caused a lot of damage in Russia. Although there were there were little deaths, but there were many, many casualties, and billions of properties were destroyed. So you can see how bright it is. Very dangerous thing. Very dangerous. So before this time, there were no planetary defense programs monitoring these asteroids. So that has prompted the United Nations to make programs available for the monitoring of these asteroids. So, and we have so many surveys or telescopes around the world scanning the sky for this asteroid. We have both the ground-based and the space-based telescope. Okay, so can see some of these surveys around the world scanning the sky on daily basis, monitoring these potential asteroid that can hit Earth in any time. It can happen any time. You know, most of us, mostly in Africa, will be like, it doesn't concern us that the Western world has all the technology to prevent that. But that's not true. Okay? That's not true. You can discover an asteroid that is able to destroy Earth maybe in the next 10 days. So it calls for the participation of everybody. It calls for the participation of everybody. So from all these telescopes, the one that we make use of is the Pan-STAR. Pan-STAR is more like a commercial. It collects data in large quantity, in very large quantity. And once the data, this is the Pan-STAR telescope, once the data is collected, it is sent to the ISAC website. ISAC is responsible for distributing it across the world. So you have different schools and organizations registering to participate in the asteroid research. So, so you download the data from the ISAC website, you analyze the data, and you submit it back. Do you understand? And Isaac will now submit it to the Minor Planet Center. They are responsible for under studying the reports that you have submitted to confirm if you have really discovered an asteroid. So this is our African group. We have been running this program since 2020, late 2020. So it is more than 2 years now, and most of our African teams have discovered up to 30 asteroids. We have discovered up to 30 asteroids. I've actually been looking out for potential collaborators from Malawi, but it has been so hard finding people from Malawi. But I am so grateful for connecting with your group. Here are the requirements for the participation in the asteroid search. You only know them, only Windows operating systems. But if you have other operating systems, we have experts from all around the world that can help calibrate your system so that you can run the program in your Linux or Macintosh operating systems. But normally the program runs in Windows. Then we have, you should have good internet, of course. Then you have a contribution of 4 hours per week. You know, this program is not what you do every day. You can allocate once or twice in a week to come together as a group to do them. You understand? Because once you have learned how to run the program, how to search for asteroids, it wouldn't take you much time to analyze a single image data. So by the time you analyze the data you have in your page, you will discover that you could do it in less than 4 hours. And next week, another data will be loaded into your team page, and it continue like that. And you need a minimum of 3 persons and above, minimum of 3 persons and above to run the program. So this is all about the programs that we are running. in our group. So I want to bring us back. Let me stop sharing. So I would like to also congratulate you once again for your telescope. You won a telescope, and I want you to be in contact, close contact with Miss Dr. Jean. He's a very great guy. You can win many more telescopes in the future. He distributes telescope across many countries of the world. He does it for free. So you don't need to buy these telescopes. So you can win even many more in the future. And I want to also introduce you because I have checked and I have seen that Malawi is not well represented in astronomy. There are so many empty positions that your team can occupy to represent your country. So, like the National Astronomy Education Coordinators, they need about 5 persons to represent your country. So this program is under the International Astronomical Union, the body in charge of astronomy in the whole world. So we also have the National Outreach Coordinators. You can apply for these positions and occupy them because from time to time they call for proposal. You can apply for funding so that you can, you know, it can assist you to, you know, to propagate astronomy in your country. When I started the Pan African Citizen Science E-Lab, I was doing it with my own finances, but with time, I received funding to be running it, and it has been running very fine for me. Oh, oh. All right. So can you hear, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I said, like I was saying before, there are so many astronomy organizations and positions your team in particular can occupy so that you can start making contribution to astronomy in your country. You can do that, okay? You mustn't be you mustn't have a degree in astronomy to be able to contribute. And I can tell you that most of most of my colleagues, most of my friends that are making tremendous contribution in astronomy do not have a degree in astronomy. They do not have a degree in astronomy, but they are doing very great. All it takes is your interest. Your interest is what counts. So that is why maybe I will share links so that you can apply for some of these positions to be able to contribute to astronomy to your country. So I'm done with my presentations, and I would like you to ask me questions. I would like us to discuss other things, especially entertain your questions.
Yeah, thank you, Miracle, for the presentation, which has given us a little bit of perspective. That the science of space technology will be marketable in less than 10 years, at least that I've known. And as a as a team, we are looking forward. Of course, we haven't really defined our objectives yet because we had to see first what's the nature of this program. So we have understood that yeah, we can take in positions in international organizations, but really the objective is to flourish the science of astronomy in our country. It is indeed true that we are lagging behind. And
Absolutely, absolutely. It was,
yeah, yes.
I have been finding someone from Malawi for the past 2 years. I couldn't find. It was almost like a miracle crossing your path. Honestly, it was almost like a miracle because I searched throughout all the social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, um, LinkedIn. I found you on LinkedIn. It was really, really hard until I found you, and I'm so grateful, honestly. And and I would like you to, do you have access to the university in your country? Do you have a? I learned that you are having a growing astronomy department in the master's degree in the physics department. A journalist told me that.
Uh, I don't know. Maybe that should just be a plan, not something which has been set up.
Oh, okay.
At the moment, in as far as I know, no, there's nothing going on. And it's only like last year when we had technology conference. Do you remember of that, which was organized by Macra? Hello, Tarcisio? Or Florence?
Yes.
Yes, there was a conference which was organized by Macra about space technology,
Wow.
and I went ahead to inquire, like, after the conference was held, then what next? But it seems it was
I did
just.
attend that conference.
Oh, you did attend.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so from what was discussed, do you see any way forward?
So actually, space enthusiasts that are technically not based in the country, the likes of Ngalande and Christopher Luanga. So Macra's job was just to get the people talking, and maybe within themselves, people that actually came for the conference, to actually be able to define a path. But I noted the
Yes.
challenge with the conference because it was taking more of a telecommunications approach rather than the broader
Yes.
perspective of what space is all about. And
Mhm.
Makla did not have a specific um,
Target.
outcome
Yes.
on what they intend to do after the conference. Because I remember I also asked the question during the conference as into what would be the plan now after the conference. Do we have do we develop a strategic plan and achievements of what we really want to focus on as a country?
Mm.
The interest is really there, like from the people, but I think all we need is a coordinating hub and efforts. And you
Yeah.
remember, Miracle, I mean, Baulin, I asked you in one of the meetings whether you were in touch with Patrick Kenikalonde, because from the activities that he does, he seems to be the focal coordinating point of the space industry in Malawi. And I think that also brings up my question as well, to say how connected is citizen science, these are initiatives that we're taking with already established initiatives. I know that recently there was an African Space Conference, I think in Ivory Coast.
I think
Yes.
yes,
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 yes, as an example to say, how do we fit in now? Because I know there are people that are taking steps in the space industry. But I think you, Miracle, expressing the challenge of not being able to reach them is also a matter of not having a well-coordinated a platform whereby you can just tap into the potentials of people that are there, and then you actually explore opportunities and potentials amongst ourselves and define outcomes. So yeah, the conference did happen, but I feel it lacked that overall post-conference activities, which I think it has not happened. It's all about, of course, they made an emphasis to say if you really have like an initiative that you feel like Macra can support you upon, then the door is always welcome for them to support, which I feel like that is a bit sluggish because at the end of the day, they're supposed to set the path, and then if we just choose which avenues we really want to partake through the platform that they have set.
Yeah,
great.
maybe Miracle could do first answer on how connected this is to the global scale, like the
Okay,
recent.
okay.
Yes.
There are so many activities going on in space. Some people are talking about technology, space technology, satellites. Do you understand? While some are talking about citizen science, like for instance, I'm talking about citizen science. Some are talking about planetarium. All these means are just to promote space science or astronomy in Africa. So my emphasis, like my own field, is to promote citizen science in Africa. So, and citizen science is not popular in Africa at all. It is not popular in Africa. That is why I am reaching out to different organizations, universities, space agencies, like I'm coordinating this with groups from the Nigerian Space Agency. I'm doing it with groups in Kenya Space Agency, from Zimbabwe, from Angola. So it's a new initiative that we are trying to, you know, bring people into it, like, decision makers into the program, because it has the potential to, for massive participation of people in space science. Just imagine, after participating in, in this research, you discovered an asteroid, and in the next few years, you get to name the asteroid. So it has that potential to, spread it. If just imagine if someone just walks up to you and say, "Oh, this guy has an asteroid named after him." So these kind of things, stirs passion in in the youth to pursue careers and opportunities in space science and astronomy. And that is why I'm so much focused on citizen science.
Well understood. And Florence, do you have a question?
I think I understand everything perfectly and I don't have any questions.
Okay. So maybe Miracle, you may have a question for us.
I think I do have one more.
Okay,
Okay,
ask.
go ahead.
Yeah, I noted in your presentation you were talking about. Okay, we were talking about citizen science, where enthusiasts that do not even have a proper background in astronomy.
Yes.
And then I checked through your presentation. You were talking about Python for astronomy, things like those. So I wanted to find out mechanisms that have been put in place by. I had a bad connection at some point, and I might have left the meeting. So I don't know if maybe you talked about it. But I wanted to find out, since their willingness, there is a docile environment for people to learn through this platform. How open is citizen science, for example, to help people develop their skills, be it initiatives of exploring Python advancement for learning. Yes, things like those.
Okay, let me talk about the citizen science as a whole. You know, in citizen science, you don't need to know all the theories and the research skills in astronomy. All is needed is your interest in space research. So you can help in the analysis of data because in astronomy we talk about big data. And most of these data cannot be handled by those involved, directly involved in the research, or even artificial intelligence. So they need the input of the public to analyze some of that data, and at the same time, it helps, it helps to trigger the interest of those participating in the data analysis in that field. So, and there are also, you assuming that you are contribute in the space research, you become part of the authors of the research paper. So it makes you to have this sense of belonging that you're actually making contribution to space research, and you have the evidence in the research paper that has been published. So, and in the Python for astronomy, it is separate from the citizen science, okay? It is separate from the citizen science. It is just an additional program that we are promoting because in astronomy and generally in space science, the most widely used programming language is the Python. So, and I happen to attend professional training from experts in in this field. Like, if you go through the materials, you would know that the materials were prepared by core experts in astrophysics. So they started from the basics all the way to the advanced level. So after attending the program, I told the professor that I would like to use some of these materials to promote astronomy in Africa, and he gave me his blessings. So that is why uh, we have it in our program. And if you want it, I can just forward you the materials. It's Python notebook. You can look into it and follow the steps and learn some of the things that we do with Python in astronomy. So
Thank you, Miracle. That would be appreciated.
it is separate from our citizen side, just an additional program that we promote. Yeah. All right.
All right.
I need more questions. Or should I ask?
Yeah, you can ask questions.
Okay. How do you plan to use your new telescope? Because um, you are going to Europe for your studies, right?
It's not like for my studies, it's just a conference
Okay,
which I'm
conference.
attending.
It means that you will
Yeah.
return. You'll return.
Yes, I will return.
So, because I was thinking that maybe you're going for your studies, and if you're going for your studies, it will take a long time for you to return to your country. So it will be like you are using it in your new place. So, but I'm happy that you said that you are returning. So, how do you plan to incorporate it? You know, incorporate it into like to inspire the next generation of Malawians?
Okay. Actually, as a team, we are just going with the flow of this program. We
Okay.
haven't reached like a consensus on how we'll move forward. But soon after the program, because we want to have a perspective on what have we covered, and
Yes, exactly.
from the knowledge we have acquired,
Okay.
what can we do to impact more people? So as a team, we'll come on the table to map the way forward. But as a scientific tool, we we are hopeful that we will use it as one tool for engaging
Sure,
the
sure.
public and inspiring aspirants in this same field. So yeah, it will be good also. It will be sort of like a symbol of our commitment. Having the equipment is better than just going with rhetoric and talking to people. So yeah, it will give us the leverage to say, okay, we are really indeed into this field because we also have the equipment. I understand there is a team which has also a telescope here in Malawi, but I've not heard of the initiatives which they are taking. So it is for us. I hope when we go into the spotlight and speak, I believe more people will join because people will first need you to take a step further and then
Yes, exactly.
they flock to you. So I think that's the approach we're gonna take once we are done with the program.
Oh, great, great.
Sarah, welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sarah is one member for from our team.
Okay,
Yeah, I think she will just watch the videos and
okay.
then whenever she has questions, perhaps maybe Sarah, you had some prepared questions already, or maybe
No, I think I'll ask the questions after watching the video.
okay, right. Miro, you can go ahead with the questions
No,
if you may.
I don't have any more questions for now.
Okay, so I think that marks the end of the conversation today.
Okay.
Yes, perhaps colleagues, do you have anything to add?
So when are we going to talk about our progress so far?
Okay, so we'll allow Miracle to leave and the rest of you will stay
Okay.
or
Does
just
any of you have any question regarding the asteroid research? Any confusion? Any problems? Any
No,
difficulties?
I think okay, I do have one more question.
Okay, ask.
I'm more interested to understand the interactions between the research teams, eh? Because I understand here in Malawi we have a chapter in Nigeria as well and other countries. Is there a chance that maybe quarterly or annually people do get together to just share their experiences in the Pan African Asteroid Research Team? Just to learn each other of the what people are doing even beyond the asteroid search.
Oh, okay. For now, we don't have the program at the moment. We don't. But we are planning. We are planning for to do that. But in our WhatsApp group, we have people, we have professors whose area are in this research and other areas in astrophysics in South Africa. And if you are in our group, you can interact with some of them for more opportunities and collaborations. Like, for instance, Mr. TK from South Africa, he was discussing about, you know, bringing up some programs because the South African Astronomical Society, the body in charge of astronomy in Africa, they also want some of the data that are generated from their telescope to be analyzed by Africans. So they were so surprised to see that our group is already doing exactly what they want. So they are trying to collaborate with us because in the future, we won't only be working on the asteroid search, we'll be working on other data from African telescopes.
okay,
All
maybe
right, that is
just
appreciated.
all right. Maybe a follow-up question would be: I understand at the end of the day, when we are done, we'll get our certificate for participation. Will they be sort of like soft copy certificates? Because I've seen people posing for photos with their certificates in hand. How do we
Yes,
get them?
yes, you will get certificates after participation. Hello? You can get certificate after participation. You will receive the email from Isaac where you will input the names of your team members, and a week after the program has closed, you will receive your certification. But there are things I want you to understand in this program. The aim is not the certificate. You will receive certificates quite all right, but the aim is to make discovery, because that discovery means that you are actually making contribution. There are two different kinds of discovery. We have the preliminary discovery and the provisional discovery of asteroids. In the preliminary discoveries is the first discovery. For instance, like you are participating in the program and maybe you spot some asteroids, some undiscovered asteroids, you will report them. Towards the end of the month, towards the end of the hello?
Oh,
Hello?
sorry.
Okay.
You can go on.
So towards the end of the of the program, maybe just a week after the end of the program, you receive a list of your preliminary discoveries of asteroids. Then you will wait for the next 6 months for confirmation, because within that 6 months, the Minor Planet Center will evaluate your findings to make sure they are asteroids. And after the 6 months, you receive another email, to tell you that yes, maybe, okay, let me just use for instance, in this early participation, maybe you might make up to, let's say, 5 preliminary discoveries of asteroids. So in the next 6 months, your discoveries will undergo further studies in the Minor Planet Center at Harvard University. So they will get back to you to see if your discovery is true or false. In most cases, one out of the whole 5 discoveries could be an asteroid, or it is also possible that none of them is a real asteroid. And when you attain that provisional discoveries, you receive another certificate to prove that you are the one that discovered this asteroid. And not only that, they will catalog it in their database. Any astronomer can view it from your database. I think you've often seen me do that. I use this software called Stellarium to, to view objects. I can use it to view planets, but I usually use it to view asteroids discovered by our team members. You can literally monitor this asteroid from your local sky. Do you understand? For instance, most nights I use my computer to monitor some of the asteroids that have been discovered by some of our African teams in my local sky. I want to know if they are in my local sky. So it can always be there. And in the next few years, let's say between 6 to 10 years, you will have the opportunity to name it. You will call it after your name or after the name of your university or anything you want it to be. So, and it is just only one person in Africa, only one person in Africa that has had that opportunity to be named after an asteroid. The person is from Senegal. You were in our WhatsApp group when we were discussing it the other day, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So one person, and I was very surprised. And but his own, he did not participate in asteroid research. He was given that respect and that honor because of his enormous contribution to astronomy outreach in his country by NASA. Do you understand? So he contributed a lot to making astronomy popular in his country, Senegal. So that is why, and it happens. Most people that make a lot of contribution to in science in general get the opportunity to be named after an asteroid. So, but for our own case is by hard work. You work hard for it. You discover your own asteroid and you get named by it. So it is a pleasure that you know you leave a legacy on the planet Earth before you die. And it helps to encourage young people into astronomy and space exploration. All right, any other question?
Yes, I have one. So, in your in the preliminary videos, before we started the program, we had the videos which there were certain rules to follow in characterizing a moving object. Like it has to move in straight path.
Yes,
It has to have certain levels of magnitude. It
yes,
has to follow a Gaussian curve.
yes.
But then, um suddenly, you also said you can disregard some of those, even if
Exactly, exactly. Okay,
yeah. So,
okay.
mhm.
Let me just clarify that. Yes, those are the rules that Isaac has set in place. But from experience, from experience, we discover that there are some asteroids that we find in the data set that do not comply with all those rules. For instance, there are some, like in the practice image set that your team submitted. You got, Isaac people told you to redo it, right? Hello?
Yes, they did. Yes.
Isaac told you to redo the set. Is because that there's an asteroid there, but it is very, very faint. You can find it in column 2, row 3, between between row 2 and 3 in column 2, between row 2 and 3 in column 2. That is where you find that asteroid. It is very, very faint. And if you check the signal to noise ratio, it is less than 5. If you check the the range of the magnitude, it is greater than 1. And if you check the the if you check the Gaussian graph, it is completely scattered. So you see, and if you ignore it, your team will not be able to progress. That is why I decided to do that practice set for your team, and I've told you to ignore those rules. Ignore those rules. Let me just tell you, it is part of our secret. Like we started this program about 2 years ago, and I can tell you up to now, we have made more than 25 discoveries of asteroids. But for other international groups, they abide by these rules, and they they don't tend to make discoveries. They have been participating for many, many years. Some of them have been participating for 5 years, but they haven't discovered anything. So you can imagine that. So what I tell them is, from my experience, please ignore these rules. If you find an object that is moving and you are well convinced that this is moving, but it is not meeting up those rules, ignore those rules and accept it and submit it to Isaac and allow them to make the final judgment. So that is just my take. So it stems
All
from
right.
experience, yeah.
I think
Because
that's a very
because
useful tip.
if you hook yourself to those rules, you won't be able to make any discoveries, and you won't be able to make progress. And even the Isaac people will tell you that to accept any moving object. And it makes me to wonder, why would they put those rules in that document and tell us to ignore? If even Isaac tell us to ignore those rules and just accept anything, you can even message them to ask them if you should ignore those faint objects. They will tell you no, don't ignore them. Accept all of them.
Okay, I think that part is answered.
Yeah.
And from my colleagues, I think that's a very useful tip. We can ignore the rules and see and follow.
Yes, actually,
Just pick what's moving.
it's actually been insightful, and I've gone by the motive of just picking what's moving from the beginning. If you noted about in my first submission.
Yes.
So, any more questions?
I think the silence means people have no more questions.
So, in case if they have more questions, my number is always there. You can always send me a message.
I actually have a question, and I think I asked Bowlin about it, but I didn't really understand. Um, like in the data sets, right? In you told us how we can change the color themes either to black or to white.
Okay.
But let's say if
Some
yeah,
people are comfortable with working with a dark background. Personally,
mm-hmm,
me and even professionals would advise you to use the white background because it can enable you to spot moving object faster. But
mm,
we have had some of our team members that they say that the dark background is convenient for them. So I said, okay, go ahead if that is convenient for you. So
all
you
right,
can choose any one that works for you, but the white background works for me.
all right. So let's say if you're using the white background and you see, okay, let's say if you're using the black background, but there is a black object moving and it
Okay,
follows the rules, like it's moving in,
you are using a dark background and you are
like it's
seeing a
moving,
dark object
yeah,
moving. How can you see a dark object moving?
yeah.
How possible? Because you're having a dark
Okay, like
background.
some, like I saw,
Okay, look at it here.
okay,
When
but like I
when
saw
when
in one of the,
when you switch to dark background, all the reference stars and even the supposed asteroids will be white, not black anymore.
yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
you can have a dark background and having dark objects moving. I have not seen that before.
all right, all right.
All right, can continue. Ask you were saying something. I think we have limited time. I see the time written on the screen. It says 4 minutes remaining time.
Yeah, I think next time we'll be using other platforms like Teams.
Yeah, I prefer Google Meet. Google Meet is much better.
Oh, okay. All right. Before we all leave, can we do a group photo?
Sure.
Maybe turn on your camera.
Let me switch on my camera so we can. So, what is wrong with my camera? Okay.
Darling came prepared today for a group photo.
So, who is taking the photo? Am I still the host?
Oh, yeah. We can take screenshots. And hello, ladies. Are you not taking photos? I don't see them switching on their cameras.
Okay, let me use my phone. So,
Okay.
Sarah, are you there?
All right.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Just-
Okay.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Have we taken the photo already? We're supposed to smile.
Next time.
You need to tell us to get ready so we can take the photo, yeah?
Yeah, Miracle, you take the photo on
The
account of.
hold on a second. I'm not used to Google. Sorry, to the Zoom. I normally use the Google Meet.
I think I can take a screenshot.
Yeah, take a
Yeah, take
screenshot.
a screen.
Take a screenshot.
Ready?
Yep.
Have you taken?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. For the rest of the team, I think we'll be talking.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Bye bye, guys.
All right.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Hi.
Bye.